Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris and I am your host. When we went to break, I was speaking with Ray Bobbitt. Ray is a local business developer who is going to, and notice what I said, going to develop the Coliseum site. Ray, I understand that blacks make up about 75% of the football players and 0% of the owners. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
That's a shame, and it's not fair. What are you going to do, if anything, about bringing black ownership?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, the thing that got our group together was the idea when the Raiders left to fill the void with the first majority African American owned NFL football team. And so that brought us together. And so what we realized quickly after that was we need to get site control. And what we realized more importantly was we need to revitalize our community, regardless of whether we get a football team or not. Mm-hmm. So that's not our site control and our development to revitalize the community is not contingent upon a football team. But we are in pretty high level discussions with the NFL.
And you wrote a letter to the NFL. What was the response to that?
So the NFL has they accepted our interest in bringing an NFL team to Oakland. Mm-hmm. They accepted our interest in having it be majority African American owned. They clearly recognized what we outlined and highlighted, which was the league is 75% African American with zero ownership. Mm-hmm. They also, we wrote in the letter that the process to own an NFL football team is systemic in itself, meaning that, most NFL owners have to be you have to be a billionaire, right? So, because the way that they measure the franchise fee is the value of the least valued team, which I think is the Buffalo Bills at $2 billion. Mm-hmm. So that would mean that a African American would have to have, and they only allow one individual to be the 30% owner as the principal. Mm. So that would mean that an African American would have to have $600 million in cash liquidity. So there's only about 6 African American billionaires in the United States. Now, if wealth was evenly distributed, there'd be 82. But unfortunately, out of the 6, only a couple would even be interested in that. So what we said to the NFL was, you have to make this concession and you have to create a circumstance where you allow for our group to do a group economics model. Mm-hmm. And the group economics model might mean that one person might not be able to own the whole 30%, but there'd be a larger number of people who could come in together and we could get to that 30%. And the number of limited investors is 23, so we would want to expand that. And then the final thing that we told them is that if that is not available, we would like the Green Bay model. And the Green Bay model is the only 501c3 community-owned sports franchise in all of the 5 major sports.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a 501c3. It's owned by community people and it's run by a board of directors. Mm-hmm. And we said that we would like to have that model or a hybrid. And in addition to that, we would want our president to be African American.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, and I understand in building developing the site, you intend to build a football stadium as part of that site. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, if we are able to secure a team, we would build a stadium, but it wouldn't just be a stadium. It'll also be a convention center because we would like to have 365-day-a-year activity, whereas a football stadium, you have a limited amount of games, whereas we design it with consistency, we could have not just football, but we could have soccer, which would be something that's very attractive as well. But more importantly, we could have conventions. Right now, we have the Marriott Convention Center downtown.
Which is totally inadequate.
I think because of our transportation infrastructure in Oakland, we would be competitive with Moscone Center. We have BART, we have Amtrak, we have 880, we have the connector from the airport. I mean, we have everything you would need with respect to drawing in major conventions in Oakland. And so that's something that could keep our community working 365 days a year.
It certainly would, because in San Francisco, even with Moscone Center, it's still difficult to get there, but it'd be much easier with the Coliseum right here in Barton.
We've been told that this is the premier sports complex and entertainment complex in the country.
Now, one thing I hope you will not forget is a promise for a retractable roof.
Right, right. Well, you know, yeah. I mean, that's something that everybody has talked about, and that's common these days with stadiums. Yeah. But then we also have the WNBA that we've been working on, and that's looking very positive.
I was about to ask you, how's that looking?
That looks good. I mean, we're in high level communications with the COO of the WNBA, and you know, Oakland is a great market. I mean, obviously, San Francisco has the Warriors, but Oakland would be a perfect market for the WNBA.
San Francisco stole the Warriors.
Right.
That's shameful on their part. I'm going to call Mayor London
Right.
and bless her out.
There you go.
Send those, well, I don't know whether I want them back.
Yeah, right, exactly. Absolutely, you know.
We want the winners back.
That's right. That's right. So, but you know, sports can be recreated in Oakland, but I think the most important thing is the economic viability. I mean, that's really what this is all about.
And when we come back from break, we're going to talk about the economic viability. Specifically, we're going to talk about Wall Street, Black Wall Street.
Oh yeah,
in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Don't touch that remote. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris, and I'm speaking with Ray Bobbitt. We'll be right back.